Good morning, Rocketeers. I'm going to get us started with another story for today. And I wanted to share with you a little anchor chart that I found that I thought would be really useful for this unit. And here it is. It says fairy tale. This is basically going through a bunch of different kinds of books that you can read. And for this unit, we'll be reading a lot of fairy tales. And so how you would characterize a fairy tale, so how would you know that you're reading a fairy tale, is it could include one or more of these things. It can include magic or spells. The book can begin with a phrase like once upon a time or end with happily ever after. Sometimes it will include talking animals or creatures. Oftentimes there's a good or an evil character. And sometimes it's a story that's been passed down from generation to generation. As I'm reading the fairy tale stories during this unit, you have some thinking job questions. And the main thinking jobs revolve around the story elements, the S-T-O-R-Y. You're also thinking about what is the character's motivation? Why does the character do what they do? What is motivating them to do the things that they're doing? And then at the end, what is the lesson learned? So after everything that happens in the story, what does the character learn? What can we learn and take away? So as you're reading the text today, your thinking jobs are, what are the story elements? What are the character's motivations? And what is the lesson learned? Okay, and those will be some of the questions, again, that will be popping up in your Google Doc. Okay, so before we start reading, I will go ahead and sing our story song. This book is a little bit shorter, so we have some time. So sing along with me. I don't want to be singing it by myself. Okay, Rocketeers? Let's sing our S-T-O-R-Y song. S-T-O-R-Y, a story, a story. S-T-O-R-Y, a story, a story. The setting, where and when the story takes place. The characters, people, animals, or objects who talk or act in the story. Oh, oops, there's a problem. Oh, oops, there's a problem. What the character wants or needs but cannot have. R attempts to resolve the problem. The character tries and tries, but it doesn't get fixed. Why, yes, there's a solution. Why, yes, there's a solution. How the problem gets fixed. Great job, guys. I'm glad you could sing along with me. So I'm going to read us the text. Think about those story elements. Think about what you can learn from the text. Let's go ahead and get started. Some of you have definitely heard this story before, The Frog Prince. This is another one of those. This is retold by Edith Tarkov. So it's another retold. It's not necessarily a brand new book or concept. It's illustrated by James Marshall. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm sorry this book isn't the best quality. It looks like some of the pictures are a little bit cut off, but it was the one that I could find. So here we go. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess. She had a golden ball, and it was her favorite plaything. She took it wherever she went. One day, the princess was playing in the woods near a well. She threw her ball high into the air. It fell, splash, into the well. The princess watched her golden ball sink deep into the water of the well, and she began to cry. She cried harder and harder. Suddenly, someone said, "What is the matter, princess? Why are you making so much noise?" Here she's looking into that well. The princess looked around. She looked into the well. An ugly little frog was looking up at her. The frog asked again, "What is the matter, princess?" "Oh, it's you, you old water splasher," the princess said. My golden ball has fallen into the well. That is why I am crying. Stop crying, said the frog. Maybe I can help you. What will you give me if I get your ball for you? I will give you whatever you want, dear frog, said the princess. Would you like my fine silk dress or my necklace of pearls? Would you like my golden crown? No, said the frog. What would I do with your fine silk dress or your necklace of pearls? And what would I do with your golden crown? What do you want then? The princess asked. The frog looked at the beautiful princess. He said, I want to be your friend and playmate. I want to sit with you at the supper table. I want to eat with you from your golden plate and drink with you from your golden cup. I want to sleep on your fine silk pillow. If you promise to let me do these things, I will get your ball for you. Looks like she's sitting on a mushroom here. Maybe she's thinking. I promise, the princess said. She thought, how can this nasty little frog come to the castle and be my playmate? He has to stay here in his well. And she said again, I promise. Now the frog went down deep into the well. Soon he came up with the golden ball in his mouth. He threw it onto the grass. Oh, said the princess, my golden ball. She picked it up and ran away. Wait, wait, cried the frog. Take me with you. I can't go as fast as you. But the princess did not wait. She ran home to the castle, and soon she forgot all about the poor little frog. The next day at supper time, the princess sat at the table with her father the king and all the people of the court. Suddenly everyone heard some strange noises outside. Splish, splash, splish, splash. What do you think that's going to be, Rocketeers? It was the sound of wet little feet coming up the stairs to the castle. Then flip, flap, flip, flap. There was a slippery little knock at the door. Someone called, Princess, princess, open up. Princess, princess, let us sup. The princess ran to the door and opened it. When she saw the frog, she shut the door quickly. The princess came running back to the table. The king looked at her. What are you afraid of, daughter? He asked. Is there a giant at the door who wants to carry you off? Oh, no, father, said the princess. It is not a giant. It is a nasty little frog. And the princess told her father about how the frog had found her ball, and she told him about her promise. I promised I would let him be my friend and playmate, she said, but I never thought he could come out of the well. Flip, flap, flip, flap. There was that slippery little knock again, and someone called, Princess, princess, open up. Princess, princess, let us sup. Remember who brought you the ball that fell. Remember your promise by the well. You must keep your promise, daughter, said the king. Open the door and let the frog in. And so the princess had to open the door. The frog hopped in and followed her to the table. He stopped by her chair. "Pick me up and put me next to your plate," said the frog. "Go ahead," the king said. "Do as the frog says. You must keep your promise." The princess had to put the frog on the table. Everyone could see that she really did not want to do it. The frog ate with the princess from her golden plate, and he drank with her from her golden cup. The frog liked his supper very much, but the princess could not eat a thing. I'm missing a page here, but I'm going to keep reading. It says, "Me to your bedroom and put me on your fine silk pillow." So, Rocketeers, I'm assuming the frog is saying, "Take me to bed." And the princess began to cry. "Stop crying," said the king. "Do as the frog said. You made a promise and you must keep it." And so the princess had to carry the frog to her bedroom. She took hold of him with 2 fingers and she put him in a corner. But the frog said, "I am tired. I want to go to sleep on a fine bed just like you. Put me on your silk pillow or I will tell your father." That made the princess very angry. She picked up the frog and she threw him against the wall. But when he fell to the floor, the frog was no longer a frog. What do you think the frog turned into, Rocketeers? Now he was a tall prince with beautiful, kind eyes, and he was smiling at the princess. "A wicked witch turned me into a frog," he said, "but now the spell is broken." Here we see that magic element that I was talking about that could be a characteristic of a fairy tale, right? The very next day, the prince and the princess were married. A golden coach with 8 white horses drove up to the castle. The prince now took the princess to his own land, and they lived there happily ever after. The end. So Rocketeers, while we look at this little ugly frog, I want you to think about our story elements, and I want you to think about what lesson did the princess learn in this story, in this fairy tale. I will be adding questions to the Google Doc. Please click on it and submit those answers for me so that I know you watched the video. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.